We are following breaking news right now, getting big reaction from Treasury Secretary Hank Paulson's remarks just a short time ago. But let's look at Wall Street and how things are faring right now. The Dow is down 258 points. The S&P down about 27. NASDAQ down about 37 points. Now, the numbers dropped after Treasury Secretary Paulson announced that $700 billion rescue plan will not be used to buy up bad debt as originally planned, and instead inject another round of cash into financial institutions. And stocks are continuing to slide. And for a look at how Paulson's statements are affecting the market, let's go to CNBC's Rebecca Jarvis. And Rebecca, early on, we knew that the market might take some direction from the press conference we just aired. So what are you hearing there on the floor?
Well, what's interesting here, Tamron, is that the direction is very little changed at this point. In fact, we basically went into Paulson's comments at about the same levels where we stand right now. But I want to bring in a floor veteran here, Alan Valdez. He's vice president of Hilliard Lyons. And I want to know from you, what stands out most in your mind as to what Paulson had to say today in terms of its impact on not only the market, but the economy at large?
Well, you know, one thing I think most traders were glad to see is he's not afraid to change as the situation changed. And that was one good sign. But on the other side, we really don't know where this money's going. I mean, this is $700 billion of our taxpayer dollars. We have not seen interest rates come in yet. We have not seen the credit markets free up yet. The market is down 18% since they signed that bill. So we still would like to see something coming out of this. And it looks like they're not going to address the auto industry's problem either until probably the next President-elect Obama takes office.
It did sound like that he really didn't mention the auto industry at all in his comments, but he did talk about the fact that the securitizers of auto loans, of student credit or student debt, and as well credit cards would be included, and that's a new area that was not originally discussed when we first heard about this plan.
Yeah, right, and that just goes to show he is ready to, he is okay to move around and change from the original plan, which we like to see, because we didn't see much with that TARP at first with these banks. They were helping their balance books, but they really weren't freeing up the credit. You know, for months we've been saying LIBOR is the most important thing, but yet it's been down 21 straight days, and credit is still extremely tight.
And Tamron, when we talk about LIBOR, that's the rate that banks charge each other, and even though that keeps coming down, mortgages, the rate that we get charged on our mortgages doesn't come down, and that's really the key here. Back to you.
You know, and it's interesting, Rebecca, I'm listening to your conversation with Mr. Hillary. It's a half empty, half full. You can point out good things, you can point out bad things, but does that still lend to an unstable environment? Was there enough there to give some confidence here? I mean, we're also talking about American Express is said to be seeking $3.5 billion from the U.S. government. So we're hearing this bad news continue, but was it enough said today? I know he wasn't making headlines, but was it enough to affect some of the dialogue down on the floor?
I would say, I think that people, and Alan, I'll bring you into this. Tamron just asked, was it enough to really give more certainty? And I would say no, because the stocks right now are reflecting that. The fact of the matter is the Dow is still down. Number of stocks are still down. It didn't really answer necessarily any major questions for us, other than the fact that there is an open door policy, that they're willing to go back for more funds, that they're, you know, Paulson mentioned that he would be willing to go back to Congress at some who knows point in time.
Exactly. And I think the average consumer sitting at home right now is saying, what's new? What's been changed? There's nothing changed for the average consumer, and I have to agree with them. The rates are still high, and nothing he said has changed the way things are going to happen in the next few weeks. That's for sure.
So, Tamron, unfortunately, that's the case. Very little has changed, even though we just spent about 45 minutes listening to Treasury Secretary Paulson.
Okay, thank you.